So you have a really well-built guy or a really well-built female, and they're doing a given exercise. And for the newbie, or just say relatively, someone new to lifting, and they see this, male or female looking great, doing a given exercise, will naturally think that, well, that's a good exercise for them too. Nothing could be further from the truth. Get enough sleep at night, 7 hours plus, manage stress. I mean, those are the big rocks. Protein, veggies, your fruits and vegetables, healthy carbs, healthy fats, drink enough water, get enough sleep, manage stress. If you do all that on a regular basis.
Hello, Kelly. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for, taking the time to come on the show. I really appreciate what you do, helping people get in shape, get in movement. And I'm a big believer between, mind and body, mind-body connection. So what you do is amazing, and I'm sure it helps so many people. And I really appreciate you for that. Thank you. And I would
Well,
love it if you could just, dive right in into examples in the field, like when you go and train people. So I'm sure people come in like tell you, hey, listen, I heard I need to do this, I heard I need to do that. Like there's so much information out there that some people also when they talk to me, because I also exercise, I'm not a trainer like you, but everyone told me, yeah, I heard this, I heard that. Like there's so many myths out there about what's right and what's not. So I would love to hear more from you. What's a correct way to train? That's in terms of that. And of course, if you could share more about what you do.
wow, and thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share today. I started training at 15. I'll just give you a thumbnail sketch of my background. I started training me at 15 and I'm 55, and it's 40 years. I mean, I've never not trained. I've had a little knee surgery that took me out for a week and a shoulder surgery that took me out for a week and an odd vacation here or there, but I've never gone more than 2 weeks without training in the last 40 years. And that's just it's been such a part of my life. And I tried to make it my profession back in the early 2000s, and things just didn't work out at the time. I suffered a back injury, and I tried to do it again about 12 years ago, and it doesn't even matter. It just didn't work out. But 5 years ago, I made the decision that if I'm ever going to do it, the time is now. And so I left the company that I was working for. I had spent a year a career in outside sales for the most part. And I pulled the trigger on being a fitness professional with Lifetime Fitness, which in the US, they are the 800-pound gorilla in the market. I mean, they do a really good job. Our facilities are just almost second to none. And I've been with them a little over 5 years, and I have no regrets whatsoever. It was the right decision for me. So you asked me about training. Good gosh, there's so many conflicting ideas out there that it can, both on the training side, and I think even more so on the nutrition side. People are looking for quick fixes. One of the videos I published about a month ago was there are no shortcuts to success, and they're not. There's only hard work. And that's on the training side.
There's no 3 steps and you'll be all fit. 3 minutes a day, and that doesn't work.
No, there are no shortcuts to success. It takes hard work every day on the training side, and all the more. I was just having a conversation with a gentleman this morning, and he said, he commented on how, he sees people, do X, Y, and Z with their training, but just from his perspective, he sees people struggle with their nutrition. And I said, you think about it, if you work out 4 or 5 days a week for an hour, that's 4 or 5 hours a week, roughly, as opposed to having to manage what you put in your face from the moment you get up in the morning until you go to bed at night. That's a lot bigger time that you have to be on your game. And there's so many temptations out there to trip you up. Nutrition is way more difficult than the training. So training is important. I'll give you a case study example of a guy. Jose and I started working together in January of 2021. He's about 5'9". He and his wife, they're both independent realtors, very successful, very driven, very intelligent. He worked out. My club offers complimentary, just part of the membership, group fitness classes, multiple times a day and throughout the week. And so Jose was doing group fitness almost daily. And those classes are hard. I mean, for what it is. And he was doing extra cardio on top of that. And he was not losing an ounce because his diet sucked. And one day he approached me in the men's dressing room and he said, "Hey, I understand that you help people with their nutrition. Do you think you can help me?" And I said, "Well, let's just sit down and talk and let's see, let me have a chance to see what you're doing." And it was really bad. He was eating out almost every meal and he wasn't making good choices. Over about a 2-month period, I flipped him upside down. He lost about 40 pounds in the first 10 months. He went from about 203 to 5 down to about 158. He quit doing the group fitness classes, started training with me. He trains with me 2 days a week. He does an additional 2 days a week that I direct because we have a training app that you can use through a tablet or phone. Most people use their phone. So I control everything. He lost about 40 pounds in 10 months. We got down to 158. I said, "That's enough. Let's go back the other direction. Let's just work to add muscle. And I feel like you're going to get leaner in the process. I just don't want you to lose any more weight." And we're up to about 170 pounds. We've not gained back any body fat. He's gotten stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and bigger. And he loves the way that he looks. But the main key to him maintaining is his nutrition. It's basically he's on autopilot now based on what I've taught him the last couple of years. I mean, it's just been a complete transformation from what he used to do, but he just didn't know. He's excellent at real estate. He didn't have a lot of knowledge about how to eat healthy. And so he just needed some direction.
Wow, that's amazing. You're able to bring someone to those type of results. That's like a wow. And I'm sure that, he feels much better. And I always say when someone feels much better, so also all of his surroundings feel much better. So that's amazing. Before you share with us the secrets about how you did that, because I'm really curious to hear. But yeah, I'm sure, each person is different. Each individual has a different story. But before we go about, a few things we can do in terms of nutrition and exercise, first, I would love you if you could debunk some myths. Like, let's say 2 myths in the nutrition world and 2 in the exercise world that everyone think that's what we should do. That's the best for us. And you say, no, it's not.
Okay. I hope I don't I hope I don't catch heat for this. Again, people are looking for shortcuts. And I think that there is a misconception out there that they exist. People think that keto is a road to shortcutting, fast weight loss. It's not. People think that intermittent fasting is a way so those are probably my 2 biggest that I run into. People that think that keto is the key to making all their dreams come true, or they think that intermittent fasting is. And in both cases, I will ask people, do you know where keto came from? Virtually no one knows. Do you know?
I have no clue. I just know everyone speaks about it.
So keto was invented 100 years ago.
Wow.
It was seriously, was a medically driven nutrition plan for people with epilepsy. And they determined that starving people of carbohydrates, doctors, starving people of carbohydrates, it actually helped with people suffering from seizures.
Okay.
But you're either in ketosis or you're not. You're either pregnant or you're not. There's no doing keto and not being in ketosis. It's like either you're pregnant or you're not. So people that call low carb keto are fooling themselves. Keto is roughly 80% carbs, 15% protein, 5% in terms of your daily intake, your different macros. 80%, I said that backwards, I'm sorry. 80% fat, 15% protein, 5% carbs. If you go higher than those numbers on your protein and your carbs, you will not get in ketosis and or stay in ketosis. And again, when you're in ketosis, your body produces ketones. They are little simply energy molecules that you're actually your brain is the number one consumer of carbohydrate in your body. Well, if you're not giving your body carbohydrate, you're going to suffer. If you can get into a state of ketosis, you actually can function. It's just a very hard process to get there and stay. People that call low carb keto, they're not in ketosis. They're just struggling because your body is designed, I believe your body is designed to be a dual fuel system. Protein is your building blocks. We run on fat and carbs, and depending on which activity you're doing. But if you want to do the keto route, you really have to get into ketosis, because if you're not producing the ketones, you're just running on low carbs and you're going to feel like crap. I mean, you just are. So there's no magic in keto. There's not. And I think God made fruits and vegetables for a reason. There's a lot of vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients and all that, and fiber and et cetera in there. For you to do keto correctly, I mean, if you eat 2 green beans, I'm exaggerating, but I mean, you can't eat that many fruits and vegetables, or you're going to take in too many carbs. I just don't think that's the way our bodies are meant to run. Enough of keto. It is not a shortcut. It is not. And I don't think it's a way to optimally, in a healthy way, fuel your body.
In addition, it also sounds that kind of most people are not really in keto. Like you said, either you're pregnant or you're not. So like all these make-believe gimmicks, from what it sounds from you, that they're not really helping us, actually damaging us. So that's really interesting.
If you want to end up malnourished and constipated, do keto, because there's no way you're gonna get the nutrition that you need, and including fiber content. I mean, I just don't think, again, there's no shortcuts. The whole thing about intermittent fasting is, again, people are looking for shortcuts. They're looking for, we live in a microwave instant gratification society, and that's just not how success works. And just because and I'm going to give you a practical example with me of why I think that intermittent fasting is not a good deal. In fact, I was talking to a lady yesterday, one of my clients, that, I mean, all I can do is encourage, all I can do is educate. At the end of the day, they do what they want to do. Sure. But she is trying to eat between 10 and 5 every day. And, so I said, if you're going to do that, you need to eat at 10 o'clock, you need to eat at 5 o'clock, and there has to be something in the middle, because you can't live on 2 meals a day. There's no way you're going to get the nutrition that you need. But I'll use myself as an example. I am very, 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 very active. I have a very high metabolism. If I eat less than 2,700 calories a day, I lose weight, period. I mean, I have clients, if I put them on 2,700 calories a day, they'd get big as a house, but they don't have my metabolism. And so I eat 6 times a day, 3 shakes, 3 solid meals. But I mean, that's just, I don't do cookie cutter. That's what works for me. I don't try to do that all with my clients. I build plans that are based on their needs, their goals, what their body requires. But if you took me and I had an 8-hour window to eat, so that's 1 meal at the beginning, 1 meal at the end, and 1 in the middle. And I'm telling you that I need 2,700 a day just to maintain. I actually eat more than that on a heavy work day and a workout day. Like today was a big leg day, but I'm off. So I'm sedentary the rest of the day. But the rest of the week, big workout in the morning, and I'll do 10,000 steps every day, every day, every day, every day. I can show you in my phone. I have 10,000 steps plus on average. It's 4 miles a day. So I have high activity. If you ask me to squeeze all of that food into an 8-hour window, I would have to eat in excess of basically 3,000 calorie meals. My biggest meal right now is around 600 to 700, my lunch and my dinner, and really even my breakfast, because the other 3 are shakes. And I'm full. I don't want anything else. And so if you made me have stuffed 300 more calories of food on that, it wouldn't be comfortable. I mean, it would be, for me, I think it would be miserable if you asked me to stuff that much food into an 8-hour window. For me to spread it out the way that I do, 3 shakes, 3 solid meals over the course of the day. If you look at, you may not want to look like them, and set the whole drug conversation aside, but professional bodybuilders, male and female, there's one thing that they do better than anyone else on the planet, and that is carry a lot of muscle with very little fat. They're not doing keto and they're not doing intermittent fasting. They eat smaller meals throughout the day, more like 4 to 6, maybe even more for some of the bigger guys. And it's been that way for the history of the sport. Success leaves clues. Did I rant enough on that? I'm sorry.
No, that's amazing, but I'm actually pretty interested in the intermittent fasting because I don't do anything religiously because I always believe there needs to be some flexibility. But listen, I'm not talking about the weight loss and all that. I don't really care about that, but more about like it makes sense. If you drive your car now for 8 hours during the day, you want to give it rest at night. So the same thing, we work our body all day. Wouldn't it make sense that at night we give it some rest and we don't eat like right until bedtime and then right when we wake up? Like it needs time to recoup. Like it worked the whole day. It needs that time to rest. That's what I would think. But you're saying that we don't need that? Like I'm kind of confused over there.
So I will be the first to admit that there are benefits to intermittent fasting on the one hand, but when it just comes to with what you just said, I mean, giving your digestive system a break, and I don't encourage my clients to eat up and right until they go to bed. I recommend at least a 2 to 3 hour window. 3 is better than 2. I mean, for some people, their schedule just doesn't dictate that. My schedule doesn't dictate that. It really doesn't. I sometimes work until 7 o'clock at night. I go to bed by 9. I still have to eat dinner. I can't eat dinner when I'm still at the club. I mean, you do the best you can with what you have. What is ideal and what is real are often two different things. I recommend a 2 to 3 hour spread at the end of the day, between dinner and going to bed. But not all my clients can do that. And again, I can't do it either. But I wake up starving in the morning. So I'm going to wait 4 or 5 hours to eat when I wake up hungry. I mean, to me, that just makes no sense. Plus, I go work out first thing in the morning. So I have my coffee. I have a little bit of protein powder in my coffee. It's not that much. I mean, it's a few hundred calories at the most. I have a post-workout shake after I train. I have my protein pancakes about 10 o'clock in the morning. I had those right before I started the call with you. And then I'll have some kind of protein and vegetables and a starchy carb around 1. I do that again at 7 o'clock tonight, and I'll have another shake this afternoon. I mean, it's pretty simple. 3 little shakes, 3 solid meals. That's what works for me. Most of my clients, 4 meals a day. A few are at 5. None are at 6 right now. So it's 4 to 5 meals a day. And again, most of them are at 4. But
got it. Okay. I like what you said about that this is for you and for something and for someone else there's something else that they should do, and what is most important is what you said, make it simple, because when someone tries to create a exercise routine or a nutrition routine, I say routine, I don't say diet, I don't say one time. I'm like I don't believe in those things. It needs to be a part of your life, a way of life. When it's not simple, we probably won't do it. So I really connected to what you said about making it simple. In general in life, when we make things simple, they'll probably happen this way or another. And now saying all that in terms of exercise. So you said myth number 1, all those shortcuts, they don't work. You need to put in the hard work and better if there's someone that I think that can train you, whether it's through an app like you do or one, like if someone can actually come and meet you, so you can guide them through the app, because you could do training, but thinking you're going to get a lot of benefits out of it, but you're actually going and doing a lot of damage because you're not doing it right. So when you have a trainer that can help you and can guide you, I think that's really important. That way you'll get the real benefits out of training. But what like another myth or two in terms of training, and then maybe you could just give us also a few tips. What should we do? Of course, again, I know each person is different, but we'll get there in a minute.
So one of the things that I see that's very common in the gym is, I'll give you a couple of thoughts. Monkey see, monkey do. So you have a really well-built guy or a really well-built female, and they're doing a given exercise. And for the newbie, or just say relatively, someone new to lifting, and they see this, male or female looking great, doing a given exercise, will naturally think that, well, that's a good exercise for them too. Nothing could be further from the truth. There's so many examples, and I see it every single day, especially with core training, that people are doing things just to me, it's almost downright barbaric. Some of the exercises that people still do, like a weighted side bend, for example, or any anchored sit-up variation, anchored as in ankle anchored. What you're doing is training your hip flexors, and you're going to destroy your lower back. You look at what the brightest minds in the world in fitness are teaching, and they're not teaching sit-ups, they're not teaching side bends, they're not teaching lumbar rotation exercises. Your core muscles 360 are way more designed to stabilize your spine like guide wires on a suspension bridge than to mobilize your spine. And yet you still see people every day doing sit-up variations, twisting variations, and I can't go save them all. I mean, I pick my battles where I will work with people, but my clients know better. I mean, they all follow what I give them. But that's core training is one of the best examples of where I still see people doing things that I would never have my clients do in a million years, and or I would not do myself. The other is on the topic of frequency. So what professional bodybuilders can do because of because of the genetics they have. So in the same way that a 7-foot guy or 6'8" guy, 6'10" guy, he's very definitely genetically prone to be able to play the NBA, right? So professional bodybuilders tend to be, I mean, they're not just big because of the drugs. Drugs are an enhancement. Those guys would be enormous otherwise, because they're, number one, they work their ass off, but then otherwise they have the genetics to do so. When you enter drugs, that's a whole different game in terms of recuperation. Their ability to recuperate from workouts, drug aided, is completely different than the average person. So when the average person tries to train like a professional bodybuilder, like Monday's chest day and Tuesday's back day and Wednesday's shoulder day and Thursday's arm day and legs, I mean, I'm really not exaggerating. I mean, you do see that largely one body part a day, and then everything getting trained kind of once a week. That is the least effective way for a natural training person to train. I train my clients anywhere from, well, 2 minimum. I mean, if you only have 2 days a week, you have 2 days a week. And if you have 2 days a week, I'm putting you on 2 total body workouts. That would be the best. If you have 3 days a week to train, it just depends. Are they 3 non-consecutive days? I'm probably still doing total body. I might do a 2-way split. So upper, lower 1 week, lower, upper, lower the next week. So you get that variation.
Say that again. Upper. Say that
so
again.
if you had 3 days to train per week, non-consecutive days, well, it doesn't really matter, but 3 days a week, I would do an upper and a lower and an upper. Now the next week is going to flip. It's going to be lower, upper, lower. So every 2 weeks, you're hitting everything 3 times. So that works out really well. If you had 4 days a week, it's very simple. I'm going to put you on a 2-way split, upper, lower. Or I could do the front side of your body, all pushing, and then all pulling the second day, and then repeat that at the end of the week. That's it. You don't need to train more than 3-4 days a week. No one needs to lift. I mean, unless you're a pro, you don't need to lift 5 days a week. And training your body parts more frequently, 2 to 3 times a week, is way more effective for the natural person than the pro that can get away with just doing chest on Monday. Because again, it's a whole different game that they're playing when you introduce drugs. So again, that's a mistake that I see people make, is trying to train like a professional bodybuilder when they're not taking drugs and they don't have the genetics. I mean, they're just, it's not to say that your body will respond to anything in the beginning, and it will, but it's just not the most effective way to train. And it takes more time if you're only training basically one body part a day.
For sure. And you said something so important, because many people, they told themselves, well, we want to be like him or like her. And like I said, like we want to be all the way up here, but right now we're here. So we can't do these type of training. Like it doesn't work like that. you know, especially everyone talks today about mentors, and mentors, I think is something really important. But it's really crucial what you said, because when we try to get those benefits out of workouts and nutrition, and we try to, I guess, copy whatever they do, and we're not there, it's not that we'll get benefits. We'll actually will injure ourselves, and we'll get the opposite from what we wanted. And I wanted just to understand something about what you said before for people listening. You said that, you know, if we're a professional bodybuilder, so we'll do, you know, a chest day, leg day, all that. But then you mentioned that if that's not the case, and that's most people. So when you say upper body, you still mean like a few different parts of the upper body, or hands, or like just the whole top? Like what do you mean when you say upper body, for example, or when you say lower body?
So a common split that I will do, so I'll break it down to body parts, because, well, not because, but when I say upper, chest, so a chest press, a back row, shoulder press, back pull down, like our chin up. So that's that. I will actually take arms and split arms off and put those on lower body day. And the reason why, if you do chest, back, and then shoulders, and then back, and then arms, and then you only have quad and hams over here, even if you throw in, you know, calves and abs, you still have a bigger upper body day if you do your total upper body than what you're going to have for your lower. But by splitting off arms and tacking that on the end of leg day, that balances out really well. And I've been doing that for a while. But the other split that I really like, and I learned this from, now I love professional bodybuilders. I mean, I think it's unfortunate where the sport is today, given, I think, the overuse of drugs. But still, I mean, I when I was a kid, I mean, I was so into that. And one of the programs that I learned from Frank Zane, he won the Mr. Olympia. He's back probably, I want to say, in the 70s. He won the Mr. Olympia, which is the highest, you know, professional contest in the world, 3 times. I mean, he looked amazing. But I got a program from him where he did all of his pushing muscles on one day and then all of his pulling on the other. So it's still a 2-way split. It's just front side of your body and back side of your body. And I can do that 3 days a week, like a push, pull, push. And then that flips the next week. Or if they have 4 days to train, push, pull, push, pull. I mean, it's not rocket science, but that works really well. And then also, you know, front half, back half, it balances out real well.
Got it. Okay, amazing. So in terms of exercise, you gave us some tips about, you know, how to break out the workout, and also do whatever is good for us, where we're state right now, not what we want to be in the future. Is there anything else you want, like any other suggestion you have for people working out before you give us some good tips on nutrition?
Let me say one more thing about training, and it still comes back to, it's not so much frequency, but volume. And this is an analogy. I learned this from a Canadian trainer that I've been following for over 10 years, just a super, super high level guy. But he used the analogy of, now I don't drink, but I mean, a lot of people do, and they can relate to this. So the first time you ever have a beer, I mean, you're going to get buzzed pretty quick, right? Or any kind of alcohol. But if you continue to drink, as your tolerance goes up, it takes more and more to get the same buzz, to feel the same effect. Training is kind of similar. So I see a lot of newbies make the mistake of going from not training ever to jumping in and trying to do a program that they have no business doing. It would be like going from not drinking at all to knocking out a 6-pack your first time, and doing that, you know, like several days a week. If you can follow you don't need that much alcohol to get a buzz. You don't need that much training volume when you're brand new for your body to grow. So if you can grow like a weed in the beginning from 2 total body workouts a week, why would you do more? Milk that for all it's worth. And then at some point add a 3rd day, whether it's 3 total bodies or like a 2-way split. But take advantage of how responsive your body is in the beginning to training, and don't add excessive volume too soon. Because, okay, so once your body gets used to that, what do? You add another day. Once your body gets used to that, what do? You add another day. Well, at some point you run out of days. You get my point? So take advantage of when you're a newbie that you don't need as much training. In time you can add. Just be strategic about that, because I mean, who wants to train 6-7 days a week? I mean, there are other things in life that I enjoy besides working out. I mean, so just be mindful with the amount of training volume that you're putting on yourself on a weekly. Because, and I'll say this on the recovery side, the last certification that I went through about a year ago, it was on recovery, specifically sleep, stress management, and recovery. And one of the statements that they made at the beginning of the certification was, a training program is only as good as your body's ability to recover from it. And if you do more than what your body can recover from, it's like bouncing a check at the bank. I mean, you get penalized, and with your body breaks down. It's not just recovering from the workout, it's recovering from the stress and strain of your job and from your relationships and your finances and the lack of sleep. I mean, all those things are stressors on your body. You have to recover from all that. And if you're putting more load than what your system can handle, your body will break down. So you have to be very mindful of recovery. That's all the more reason that when you're in the beginning, don't heap on a bunch of excess training volume. We really don't need it in the beginning. You want to switch to nutrition now?
And I will go to for nutrition. I'll just 100% on the body breaking down. I'm an example for that. I tried doing an ultra marathon without training too much, and I did it, but I broke my legs and it took me a long time to recover. So I do not recommend that. Yeah, but for sure we'll go to nutrition, because many times we hear about exercise, and nutrition is kind of put there at the side. And you said at the beginning of the show, you mentioned the importance of nutrition. So we spoke about we debunked the myths. Now, if you could just give, I know it's general and each person has their own, nutrition that is good for them, but maybe that 70% that is good for everyone. What do you recommend to start? Or if someone's in there, like a few good tips they continue.
Nutrition is art and science. And I say that because there's certain fundamentals, but then you still have to treat each individual as an individual. I don't do cookie cutter. I have one lady that I allow, that we have an agreement that she only eats 3 times a day, because she just will not eat 4. But as a baseline for my other clients, I really like 4 meals a day. And it's, as much as anything, it's to help them get in enough protein. I've done, I don't know how many nutrition consultations in the last, I've been with Lifetime for a little over 5 years. I've done a lot. I've had one guy in 5 years, one, that was taking in too much protein. Everyone else upside down. Right up until last week. People don't get enough protein. And when you're only eating a couple, 2 or 3 times a day, good luck with that. So that 4 meals, first and foremost, just to help people get in enough protein, because that's the #1 macro building block. For someone that's not eating any breakfast right now, I'm not going to try to have them eggs and oatmeal and, will you just have a protein shake? And it doesn't have to be first thing in the morning. I mean, get up and have your coffee, and that's what you normally do. But whether you work from home or you go to an office, somewhere halfway between when you wake up and when you're having lunch, and most people have lunch, can we put a protein shake in there? I mean, that's as a concession. So we can call that meal 1. So, and then lunch, and then something in the afternoon. Again, it can be as simple as a shake. And then, dinner. So that's 4 meals a day that I can seek to, I mean, for all of my ladies, it's at least 120 grams of protein a day. There's a difference between what someone needs and what I think that they will do. And so it's a ready, willing, and able. Well, they're ready to make a change. They're willing to make a change, but I can only push them so far. They may need 140 grams a day. Say for a lady, they may need that, but like, there's no way they're going to eat 140 grams a day. But can I get them to 100? I mean, that's a slam dunk when they're only eating 50 right now, and that's real. So 4 meals a day, 25 grams a meal, that is awesome. In time, can I maybe bump that up? I mean, I'll try. So getting enough protein, 4 meals is the foundation, but I have clients that do 5. And I'll give you an example. If someone trains first thing in the morning, and they want to have a post-workout shake, that's one meal. Then they want to have a solid breakfast. The guy that I mentioned at the beginning that lost the 40 pounds, this is his plan. He has coffee, he comes to the gym, he works out, he has a shake. 90 minutes or so later, he'll have a solid breakfast. It's usually eggs and toast or eggs and oatmeal. I mean, it's very simple. Protein, veggie, starchy carb for lunch, 2 protein bars in the afternoon, protein, veggie, starchy carb for dinner. That's it. It's simple. I mean, it's very, very, very simple. And he lost 40 pounds and he's maintaining that now. Doesn't have to, like you, to your point, you said people do simple really well. They do. If you make it complicated, they're not going to follow it. But getting enough protein every day. So how much? How much? Good gosh. If you looked up online, how much protein every, you're going to get 1,000 different answers.
Exactly.
If you could, well, you will, but if you
Oh.
could boil it down, if you boil it down to this, and this is a number that most people are not there. So this is a good starting point. You could take in more, but this is a good starting point. 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. And you're thinking, okay, so what's my ideal body weight? So we have a scale at our gym, and it gives your total weight, it gives your body fat percentage, it gives your muscle mass. For most men, a healthy range of body fat is somewhere between 10 and 20%. So let's just pick 15 as a number. And so if you're sitting at 25% body fat, if we call 15 your ideal, well, then you can kind of do the math at where you would be at 15% body fat, just take that weight off. Well, then there's your grams of protein every day. I mean, that's just a pretty simple little method. And again, most people are not taking in that much. So 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. When it comes to veggies, like fibrous vegetables, broccoli and cauliflower and spinach and mushrooms and green beans and asparagus and tomatoes, you can eat all that you want. You're never going to do any damage. Now, how you cook it and what you put on it, like as in a salad, I mean, you can destroy a salad with your salad dressing, but you can eat all the fibrous vegetables that you want. Fruits are very good for you, but they are a carb, and I am not a carbaholic by a long shot. I eat a ton of carbs, but they are more calorically dense. And it really just comes down to your energy requirements on a daily basis. So you need to be a little more mindful with your fruits. You can't eat fruits to excess the way that you can, spinach. Mm-hmm. And then especially with your starchy carbs, I believe in them. I eat them. I recommend them, but you just have to be more careful with your amounts. And the same thing for healthy fats. I mean, I eat a ton of fat every day, but it's olive oil and avocados and walnuts and egg yolks and flaxseed. Those are kind of my building blocks. All very healthy sources. You just have to be mindful with your fat. I cringe when I hear someone say that they snack on nuts. Oh, you can OD on nuts in a heartbeat. I mean, an ounce like that on a digital kitchen scale of walnuts laid flat is 180 calories and about 18 grams, and that's about 2 bites. And most people can eat more. Well, it is. And so most people can eat more than 2 bites of nuts of any kind. And so you have to be intentional when it comes to your fats. Water, again, I go to your ideal body weight. Ideal body weight, cut that in half, ounces per day. That's your water formula. And then there's certainly no reason to drink. I mean, there's nothing wrong with drinking more than that. Like every hour of exercise, you could add easily 16 to 20 ounces. Get enough sleep at night, 7 hours plus. Manage stress. I mean, those are the big rocks. Protein, veggies, your fruits and vegetables, healthy carbs, healthy fats, drink enough water, get enough sleep, manage stress. If you do all that on a regular basis, you're going to be pretty good.
Hi, I hope this video is serving you. I just want to share with you that my belief in life is that you are here to serve a purpose greater than yourself. But in order to do that the best way, you must start with investing in yourself. Enjoy the rest of the video.
It sounds amazing, and I really connected to what you said. I just have a question about the protein. Well, I have a lot of questions, but I'll go back to the protein for a second. From what I heard, there are many protein shakes or like different ingredients in that are not so good. So you mentioned protein again and again and again. What type of protein do you recommend people should take? Because I know a lot of them are not good for us.
To borrow a phrase from my first and still #1 mentor in the nutrition game, I met him the summer after I graduated from college. That was a long time ago. But he said, the more that you will eat food the way that God made it, you're going to be a long ways in the right direction. And so if you like eggs and can eat eggs, that's a great source of protein. You're also getting some healthy fat there. If you can tolerate dairy, you know, Greek yogurt and or I would go with a low fat milk. That is a you know, acceptable source of protein. Whey protein powder is a very high quality source of protein. I use that on a daily basis. I'm actually a little bit of a hybrid because I'm a little lactose intolerant. So just to give my system a break, I actually use both whey-based protein powder and vegan-based protein powder. My source is pea. That's I use products from my company, but it's a pea-based protein. So I just do both as opposed to just hammering my body with straight whey every day. But then, you know, any poultry, any lean beef, any lean pork, you know, your fish, those are all great sources of protein.
Amazing. Again, you made it simple, like you said, you know, whatever God made and we can understand, so something like that. So going back to simplicity.
Well, and let me make a comment back to the protein powder, because yes, there are a ton of products on the market. They are not all created equal by a long shot. And quality standards, in fact, I just went through a little internal certification with my company. I finished it, you know, a month or so ago, but it was very revealing as to there's a lot of crap on the market, bottom line.
Exactly.
And the standards that most companies have in the processes that they use to actually manufacture their product it's shocking in some cases. So you have to be very careful. My company, Lifetime, if you look at any product on our company website, so go to our fish oil and you scroll down to the bottom of the page, and it wouldn't, all of the products, you'll find the same thing. It's called the no list, literally the no list. And it's all the things that we won't put in our products. No artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, sweeteners, fillers, and on and on and on. I mean, it's a paragraph. So most protein powders on the market use artificial sweetener. So if you don't want to use artificial sweetener, you have to be very specific. Now, you can buy products that don't, or maybe they're stevia based. There are some protein powders that there's no sweet added whatsoever. It's going to have a pretty bland taste. But if you want that, you can find it. You just have to really be intentional to buy it, because most of the more popular brands, they use artificial sweetener, just as an example. If you don't want to use sugar alcohols as a sweetener, as a source of sweetening, you have to be intentional. That's another common thing, both in protein powders and say protein bars. Protein bars, it's very, very, very common for them to use sugar alcohols as a source of sweetening. Sugar alcohols can be notorious for tearing up your stomach if taken into excess. So you have to, something can appear to be healthy on the outside, but there may be ingredients in there that'll just rip your tummy up, you know, for example, if you just don't know. So when it comes to protein powder, you definitely get what you pay for. Where it's sourced, anytime that you see, and this is just not so much about protein powder, but just to leave this thought. Anytime you see proprietary blend on any type of supplement, that's smoke and mirrors for, we're not telling you what's really in here. It really is. There's no reason to have a proprietary blend. What are they hiding? If they're being straightforward and honest, they'll list there's this much of this and this and this and this. Why does it have to be a proprietary blend? If they have a patent on it, no one can copy that anyway. So there's no reason to have a proprietary blend unless you're just trying to hide something. And that's a great opportunity to load higher amounts of cheap stuff. And you can say honestly that, oh, you've got this one ingredient, but we're not going to tell you how much. We're being honest that it's in there, but not near as much as what it would really need to be. So you have to be, anytime you see proprietary blend, I would run. I would not buy that product no matter what it is.
Got it. That's really important. Thank you. And all that was amazing information. And just before we, wrap up and, tell us where people can find you, you spoke about a lot of different things that people can do. And we speak over here on the show about investing in ourselves. Movement and nutrition are two crucial ones. But I always believe in the first step, the next step, and maybe the most important one. So I know we need to do a lot of those things, not only one, but what would you think is the most important investment someone can make in themselves when it comes to nutrition and exercise? One thing.
Get some help.
I love that.
Well, let me elaborate. Back during our well, in the US it was March, April, May when we entered into the pandemic in 2020, and we were, in here nationwide lockdown for those months. And I wrote, because I write a blog, and I wrote, didn't have anything else to do. I wrote a number of posts over that period of time, but one of the blogs that I wrote is entitled, I know what I should be doing, ... or excuse me, I know what I should be doing, but, and then ... question mark, insert excuse. You hear that all the time, that people, they say, I know what I should be doing, but, and then they'll give an excuse. The reality is they're here, and when they want to be is over here. And if you're lacking skill set, an accountability partner, discipline, there may be such a massive chasm between where you are and where you want to be that there's no way you're crossing that without getting some help. So, especially if you need to lose weight, so your nutrition is, you're not where you are by accident. You've had poor eating habits. So something's off there. If you're really trying to lose weight and you've never exercised before, there's a lot more to strength training than downloading a free, workout off the internet, which you can do that all day long. But that is generic. It is not designed for you specifically. So to go to a fitness professional that knows what they're doing from a program design standpoint, maybe like me, they do both, because I do training and nutrition, but you need some help. Spend the money to get some help as opposed to spinning your wheels. I tell people 2 weeks is long enough to see quality weight loss. If a 2 week period if you're trying to do something and you put a plan into play and 2 weeks go by and you're not seeing progress, something needs to change, because you're wasting time at that point. And life is too short not to get some help to get the results that you want. For all the other things that we spend money on frivolously, it's not that expensive to invest in a coach to help you get started and get you, going on the right track.
For sure. And that's so important, because like we spoke also in terms of exercise and also in terms of nutrition, the fundamentals, but then there's the rest that differs from each person. What's right for them is not right for them, and the opposite. So that's really crucial. And moving forward with that, where can people find you?
So if they go to my blog, which is just kellyamidonblog.com, I have a contact page that says work with Kelly. You can go to my YouTube channel, Kelly Perkins Amidon. There's a link that drives back to my blog. It's the same contact me, page. Either my YouTube channel, my Instagram, and or my blog specific, it's all the same how to work with me page. And if they submit their information there and hit submit, that comes to me in an email, I will reach out, and that starts the process. I can work with anyone. I can work with anyone literally anywhere with internet connection, because our company is set up to be able to do that. I can do virtual training, or we use a training app. So I can build someone's program through that app, and they can use that, virtually anywhere. So I literally can work with people around the world. I'm not just, restricted to my club in North Dallas.
Amazing. I love that. And also what I love about you, that you actually walk the talk, and you train it yourself, and you do all those things that you also tell other people to do. And you also bring many people amazing results. And whoever's driving right now, don't try to write what Kelly just now said. You maybe just send me the links afterwards, and I'll put them at the bottom of the show, so people could connect with you, because it's really crucial to understand, like you said, each person is different. And when you have someone that can train you, someone that has experience, that you say you're working out since you're 15 years old, that's 40 years. So that's really crucial for the success of whatever you want to get, whether it's in nutrition, whether it's in exercise. So I really recommend contacting you. And if anyone has a question also, right, you could leave you a question in your blog or wherever Instagram, whatever it is. Thank you very much for your time, Kelly. I really appreciate all the great value that you provided today. It was amazing. And I really recommend people to connect with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
We'll be in touch.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed the video and you got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. For us to help other people, please press that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget that the most amazing things in life are the one you take for granted.